Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Business Acceleration Podcast. I am so pleased that you're here today because I have some super exciting news for you about some of the amazing manifestations that health practitioners in the 5-day pop-up manifesting challenge have been experiencing, and the challenge isn't even over yet. But before we do that, I want to introduce you to today's topic, of course, which is all around how you can do this too. And the reason that I want to share this with you is because, hey guys, come on, we're in the middle of a global pandemic, and you've probably noticed some people's private practices are, closing. They're experiencing sharp drops in referrals, sharp drops in bookings, sharp declines in income coming in. And yet there are other practices that are thriving. And I can absolutely, with 100% confidence, speak to the practices that are thriving. I know because I'm working with these practice owners and they are doing so well, and I can't wait to share some of their wins with you. But the thing is that what I've been able to share with them are some of the basic principles of quantum physics. And you don't have to know lots about quantum physics to get started with manifesting. What you need to understand really is that in terms of quantum physics, there's a belief that all the possibilities that you could imagine for your life, for your private practice, exist right now. Okay? They all exist right now. And when you want to manifest something, manifesting is calling something into your reality. And when you want to experience something in your reality, there are a few little things that you need to do. And the first one of those is setting your intention. And I can't stress enough how important this is. But a lot of people don't really explain very well or very clearly how to set one. So that's one of the things that we covered first off in the manifesting challenge, that it finishes tomorrow at 5 o'clock or 5:30. And it has to be the starting point for setting the goal that you want to achieve when you're trying to create something in your private practice, okay? And so the best way to explain it is there's a difference between, let's say, setting an intention and having a desire. I might desire to lose weight, but I might set myself a goal and say, I'm going to lose 2 kilos this month. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm making that declaration. Okay, that's what an intention is. A declaration has a different vibration to it. It has a different energy to it. I challenge you now, just press pause on this podcast and even just use the example I gave then. Say out loud, I want to lose 2 kilos. See how that feels to say. And then say, I'm going to lose 2 kilos this month, and see how that feels. And then when you've done that and you've experienced the difference in the energy, come back to the podcast. All right, you did it? Good. So we're on the same page then. The reason that an intention is so important is because in terms of probability, it significantly increases the outcome of that intention manifested into your reality, and that's why we want to have it. But there's another little hook that's important with intention, and that's to, of course, use visualization and to anchor emotion into that outcome that you're imagining. The other thing that we want to do is, I guess, when you're thinking about your private practice, a lot of people that were in the challenge and clients that I'm working with now are saying that they want to have things like more bookings in the diary, they want more appointments, they want more referrals and things like that. But here's the thing, in order to have that, you need to start by dropping the story that you already have around your identity. What I mean by that is listening to the language that you're using. When people say, my diary's empty, I'm not good at filling my diary, I hate marketing, I don't love being visible, I don't want to overshare on social media, all those sorts of things. You're creating an identity, and that becomes a problem when you then want to see a different outcome. Okay, if you yourself as a private practice owner struggling to fill her diary, what'll happen is when you go to fill it with appointments, you're going to be fighting your identity. You're going to be fighting what feels very natural to who you are. The way forward is to release that part from your identity, okay? Begin to start to see yourself as a private practice owner or as a practitioner with a fully booked diary. You don't have to tell yourself a story about how hard it is in the middle of a pandemic to book your diary. You don't have to tell yourself a story that everybody else is going through the same thing. You don't have to tell yourself a story that it's going to be hard at the moment. You don't have to tell yourself a story that this is horrible and you can't wait for it to go back to face. All right? What you want to do is try and look at ways that you can drop that part of your story, drop that part of your identity, and begin to step into the new version of you. Okay? Releasing is crucial, because if you just try and swap it or tell a different story about it, that identity is going to find its way back to you again. Remember a minute ago, like I spoke to you about weight? Well, if I have an identity that I'm overweight, if I have an identity that I need to lose weight, if I have an identity that I want to lose weight, if I have an identity that my life will be so much better when I lose weight, eventually I'm going to lose the weight. But guess what? Because it's my identity, that weight's going to find me again. Remember how in previous episodes I spoke to you about how you have set points? I mentioned about, we did a whole episode, I think we've done 2 episodes now, on financial set points. But just like you have a financial set point, you also have an emotional set point, and you also have all kinds of set points. Maybe a relationship set point, and that's easy enough to spot. All you have to do is look at patterns in your past relationships to see that. But what I'm talking about today is an identity set point. So for those of you who are new to the podcast, just quickly, a set point is where your body is at stasis. And the way I explained it before was I have a thermostat in my house, it's set to 22 degrees. When the temperature drops in my house, the thermostat kicks in to bring the temperature back up to 22. When the temperature in my house is higher than 22, my thermostat kicks in to bring that temperature down to 22, right? 22 is the set point. This happens with weight, it happens with money, it happens with relationships, it happens with anything. You have a set point. You also have this set point for your identity. If you say, I'm horrible at keeping a diary going in the middle of a pandemic, that's going to be your set point, because that's your identity. What's going to happen is you'll have a week or 2 where you get a few new referrals, but something's going to happen with those referrals. Either by the time you get around to calling them, they will have left and booked in with someone else. They won't return your call. They won't pick up. They'll book an appointment, not pay a deposit. They'll book an appointment, not turn up, right? Something's going to happen, because your reality needs to bring that influx of referrals back down to your identity set point, which is, I'm someone who struggles. Okay? So this is why it's important to really think about the story that you're telling yourself, that identity that you're having for yourself now in the middle of the pandemic around you as a private practice owner. Okay? When you change the way that you view yourself, you're going to change your life, and you're going to be able to change your practice, just like people did in the Manifesting Challenge, right? You need to be really raw and really, really real with yourself so that you can be aware of your identity, guys, because that awareness is going to open up the door. It's going to unlock things for you so that you can then start that process of letting go. And when you let go of something, guess what? Law of vacuum is going to be activated, and law of vacuum states that when there's an empty space, we need to fill it. So we want to fill that empty space with a new identity, with a new story that you want to tell yourself. Something like, every day I'm getting better at booking my diary. Every day I'm getting better at filling my diary. Every day marketing becomes easier. Every day my messaging becomes more resonant with my clients. Every day life is more enjoyable. Every day I'm more thankful for the clients that have booked in with me, right? Things like that. The version of you that you want to become already exists in terms of quantum physics. So all you have to do is tune yourself into that version of you. Probably the easiest way of explaining this, and I can't claim it as my own because everybody uses it in manifestation, but it's used for a reason. It's very, very easy to understand. If you have your favorite radio station, when I listened to the radio, it was 101.1 Fox FM. If I wanted to listen to Fox FM, I had to tune my radio to Fox FM, right? When I tuned the radio to Fox FM, then I was on the same frequency as Fox FM, and I was able to receive information from that frequency, which was the music and the interviews and the commercials and all of that sort of information, okay? If I wanted to listen to Fox FM, which is 101.1, but I set my tuner to, 109, I'm not going to hear Fox FM. I might have a desire. I might say, I want to listen to Fox FM. But if I'm not taking action to set that dial, I'm not going to, am I? It's going to be an unfulfilled wish, and I'm going to get back more of what I don't have, which is not tuning into Fox FM. So what you need to do is match your frequency to the version of you that's already living that life with her private practice exactly the way you want to be living it. And the way to do that is to imagine it, okay? I like the idea of visualizing things and imagining things, and it's easy to do once you get the hang of it. But basically, you just close your eyes and you take a few breaths and you calm yourself down, and you think to yourself, oh, this feels silly, but you allow yourself to do it. And the more often that you can allow yourself a few minutes here and there to expand your mind in terms of, what is that version of me doing? And is she enjoying it? Is she loving it? Is she happy? She's got a fully booked diary. What's she doing that's different to me? You use that information then to close the gap between where she is over there and where you are over here. Okay? You're going to tune your dial into her frequency. And you do that by saying, okay, what's one or two things she's doing that I'm not? I need to start doing those one or two things. How can I start doing those? And that's the process of stepping into that version of you that already exists. So allow yourself to just enjoy that process. And guess what? That version of you may be more you than the version of you that you already are. It's so much fun when you start to play around with quantum physics, and you can absolutely get some amazing results, okay? So I had a 5-day manifesting challenge, pop-up group just for health practitioners, right? It's full of psychologists, social workers, allied health people. Now, the challenge has already had very exciting results. Somebody got a new contract for work. Somebody else got new revenue streams. Somebody else got unexpected money deposited into her bank account. Somebody else got 2 new clients to work with, and they were ideal clients. And somebody else is working on manifesting a media appearance for herself right now, and I'm sure she's going to get it. This is the thing. When you do the work, it's not just enough to sit down and think, oh, I really want the red Ferrari. You have to take the action. Okay, you've got to take the action. You have to tune that dial, which is exactly what I've been speaking to you about today. And you have to be willing to drop the stories that you've been telling yourself, because those stories are going to keep you in your comfort zone, even though you don't like it, even though you do want a fully booked diary, even though you do want steady income coming into the practice. You're going to stay where it's familiar. Even though it's ugly and you don't like it, you'll stay there. So what I'm saying is, let's release that story now. be brave enough to think about what the version of you who's living the private practice life right now that you want to live looks like. And let's start to really close that gap, okay? Are you really that private practice owner that struggles to fill a diary? No, you're not. Maybe you're playing small now for all kinds of reasons, and I want you to let that stuff go. I want you now to think about some practical ways of stepping into that successful version of yourself that thrives in the middle of a global pandemic because she's pivoted, because she was open, because she allowed herself to be successful. She allowed herself to let go of the story that everybody else is adopting and telling themselves, okay? If you want help with this, I would love to help you. And I have a private practice monthly mentorship group, and I love it. In that group, I've been giving everybody who participated in the 5-day challenge, I've been giving everybody in my mentorship group bonus content, and I think maybe that's the reason why they've been getting such exciting results, and I'm so pleased for them. Honestly, I couldn't be happier. They have just done so well, and it's just been my absolute joy to get into that group every day and train them and give them that extra material. It's so much fun, and they've all identified that one of the things that they want to work on for May 2020 is looking at creating online income for their private practice. So I've run this webinar a few times already this year, and it's had amazing results, and I've had beautiful feedback about the workbook that I put together that goes along with it as well. And I've got all these emails saying from all different health practitioners how much they love the workbook. They haven't seen one like it before, and that just filled me with so much joy that I thought, okay, I'll ask the group what they want. They've said this is what they want. They want to take all that stuff further, so okay, we will. I've got a Facebook expert coming in, and one of her favorite things to do is teach people how to create online offers that really sell and have really high conversion rates in health. So she's coming in next week, and she's going to be teaching us all about how to do that, and I can't wait. And then what I'll be doing in the training for the mentorship this month is looking at creating offers that also align with your purpose and align with your meaning and align with your values and the vision that you have for your practice. And when we bring all of that sort of stuff together, everything just kind of happens really easy, and it just flows, and there's grace attached to it, and it's just like everybody in the group just lights up, and it's the best. It's just this space of beautiful energy, and they get to attract clients and do all those sorts of things. I'm going to teach them all as well about what a funnel is, and just strip that right back to basics too. Because when you're a health practitioner, you learn all about how to do your job, like how to be, a air quotes good psychologist or social worker or therapist or physio or GP or whatever it is. But you don't necessarily learn about all that other stuff like marketing. And with everybody taking their business online now, we're seeing a skills deficit, and lots of practitioners are scrambling and they're getting really overwhelmed with stuff. And so I'm really pleased to be in my group, because they're not going to have any of that overwhelm. I'm just going to take it right back to basics. And by the end of the month, everybody's going to have a successful online offer. That's my intention, and I'm declaring that. But do you see how I set that intention there? I said, by the end of the month, everybody's going to have a successful online offer. That's an intention, okay? You can set your intentions too. And it's my intention that you guys join the private practice mentorship as well, because it's my intention to help you. I want to help you create your online offers too, so that you can start calling in some extra cash into your practice. And what's that going to mean for you as well, by the way, when we all do go back to doing the face-to-face stuff? It's going to be so expansive for your practice, because you'll no longer be reliant on one way of getting money into the business. It's going to give you something there that's in addition to what you already do, and that's why it's expansive. I know, don't you love this stuff? And it's soul connected. How good is that? Oh my gosh, I can't wait. If you want information about the mentorship group, check out the details, connect with me on Facebook, send me an email, visit me online. The website is brooklynstorme.com, and I can't wait to see you inside. Have a beautiful day, everybody. Bye.